Nepal really put on a performance yesterday, bowling, fielding, their defense. Hoping to duplicate that performance and get the big W today.
And the batting was so incredible from the Nepal side today, wasn't it? Top to bottom, really put the pressure on Oman. Ball angling into the right-hander. First wicket early on. And Oman are going to be under some pressure here. Short Khan is off the mark. He's picked up a single.
Going back to coin toss. He likes to pitch first or bowl first, field first, so that you know what you need to get. This is an example that this is his advantage. They know they need to be ultra aggressive and try to hit 176 runs. So they gotta take chances, I think.
When they won the toss and they chose some ball, they certainly weren't expecting them to come on the run in this fashion.
Sure.
Left alone, and from the get-go, there's pressure on Oman. They wanted up to be going at 9 runs and over to keep this chase in some sort of control. It's still early days, but when you lose a wicket this early, it really puts you on the back foot.
नेपालले एक विकेट लिइसक्यो
Very defensive, very hesitant in the 50-over games, but they've really come out all guns blazing in the T20s. Yesterday as well, the incredible performance of the ball first up against Canada. That's going to be a wide. And then today, there was no stopping them with the bat. Incredible innings from Gulshan Jha towards the end. 40 off just 17 deliveries. Deepinder Singh Airy, 18 off 5.
Yeah, just a huge breakthrough with the bats.
It makes a big difference. Yeah. You've got that opening partnership between the two.
Yeah, they're on fire. Talk about momentum. Hitting's contagious. Lenny and I were talking about confidence of this Nepalese team with the bats. And how you gotta keep that positive mindset, keep being about the right things, controlling what you can control, and eventually that rock will split in two, and that's what we saw with those last 5 overs.
Skipper Akib Ilyas is out in the middle with the bat, opening the batting for his side today. For a few runs, did pick up wickets, 3 wickets to his name today. 32 runs in his 4 overs. It's going to be just the 1 run here. Oh dear, you don't see misfields very often from the Nepal side, and this one's just allowed for an additional run.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between a successful ball and unsuccessful. Just the way the math works. If you're Nepal, you're perfectly happy giving up a single in each ball. What you can't do is make unforced errors like that. Those are the types of things that, over time, can on, not just back in the game runs, but start to give them confidence, help them bring some momentum with the bats.
Top ball to end the first over. Oman 5 for 1.
ठिक आउँदैछ कि छैन केटाहरु
TD supported cricket schools. I gotta tell you a story, Manali. When I was on the Raptors, so this is like 20 years ago. I know I don't look that old. I was doing a community event with the Toronto Police Department, doing a basketball clinic at a high school after school in Brampton, Ontario, a large suburb of Toronto. And I'm waiting in the parking lot for school to get out.
ठिक आउँदैछ कि छैन केटाहरु ब्रो
And I'm
साउन्ड नलाऊ अलिकति होइन
Ball, who knows? Ultimate frisbee? No. They started playing pickup cricket games out there in the field after school, and I had never seen that in my life. So it's pretty cool.
Bit of a loose delivery from DeCall to start. Low full toss. Just costing him a single. Yeah, cricket's really exploded. I mean, you're talking 20 years ago, so just goes to show it's been around for a long time.
You know what they say about Brampton, Ontario? All roads lead to Brampton. I remember seeing that sign when I went there. It was a huge sign when we got to Brampton that said all roads lead to Brampton.
Known as Flower City as well, and they're such supporters of cricket here locally. Well, first real sign of aggression, and it's going to drop in no man's land as they pick up 2 runs. A lot of political municipalities in terms of cricket promotion happening in Brampton. Mayor Patrick Brown, a big part of that. In fact, recently we just had the GT20 completed, and very instrumental in giving us the facility, giving us a space, the help. They've played a big hand in growing the sport of cricket.
I think, any sport that gets kids off screens, outside in the fresh air, getting some sunlight, working together, teamwork, building confidence, leadership skills, communication skills. Just seems like the way kids have so many distractions these days that are just, in my opinion, just unproductive for their development. Any sport that's growing, we should support it.
And we're starting to see so many kids spend all their time indoors on devices, things that we really didn't do growing up, outside playing.
Well, it wasn't an option.
It's true. But have you noticed, I mean, you just mentioned you've been going to schools. Have you noticed that the mechanics of kids running, the hand-eye coordination isn't quite the same that it used to be back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of it, just learning how to move your bodies. Like the muscle memory, neurological pathways of that. So important to get that when you're younger. And the only way you get that is by playing sports, playing multiple sports. And I'm not, it doesn't just have to be organized sports. Like, you go to the park, what are the kids playing? All right, I'm jumping in, and you figure it out. You just don't see that as much these days.
Oh, back in the day, I mean, you got home, you threw your backpack, got on your bicycle, and go to a friend's place, you know?
That's right. Come back at supper.
That's right.
You knew if you stuck around the house, your parents would rope you into doing chores.
Flicked off the pads, and it's singles. Oman, they're having a bit of a slow start out there after that early wicket. Thanks to some probing bowling from Nepal.
लाइभ राम्रो आउँदैछ कि छैन
It's just mental between the
लाइभ
ears.
राम्रो आउँदैछ
Stay
कि छैन
focused.
आयो भने
Don't let up.
यस गर्नु यस गर्नु
Saw the
यस
last
कमेन्ट
5
गर्नु
overs. All it takes is a little hot streak can get Oman right back into the game. So Nepal looking to stay focused and not give them that, or at least limit the chances of that happening.
One final delivery to come in this over. DeCall want to finish strong. Just the 4 runs off of it so far. And this is slog swept, and this might be a chance, and that's a wicket. He's gone, Akibilias.
2 wicket down
The hands of a fielder in the deep.
You see Nepal celebrating the wicket. Great positioning. Just didn't have quite enough on it to carry it over the boundary. Take a look at this replay. Comes in, tries to pull it. Just doesn't quite get there. Perfect positioning. Easy routine catch right there.
Kushalmala making easy work of that. That's also going to be the end of the first over. Oman 2 wickets down for 9 runs. Well, big moments these. 2 early wickets for Nepal, and they've really put Oman on the back foot here, just losing their skipper. Ayan Khan coming out to the middle. And where are these runs coming from, Matt? 2 wickets down. They need a partnership. They need to steady the ship a little bit here, Oman. Yes, they need a lot of runs, but you can't get them if you've got no wickets in hand.
That's right.
Just exactly what a big total does to you when you're chasing. You've got scoreboard pressure from the time that you come out.
So many forces working against Oman right now.
You spoke about being multi-sport athletes at a young age, or just going out and playing whatever you can find, and it's so important. In fact, we're starting to see kids specialize way too early these days as well, especially in cricket. Just picking up the sport and sticking to just the one sport way too early. You want to try and be as multifaceted, play different sports. You never know what sort of skill sets you might bring into a different sport.
I agree. Especially when you're young, you know. It's at a certain point you're gonna fall in love with one sport and probably lock in and specify in that one sport. But when you're a kid, you should just be out there just playing everything. I agree.
When did you know basketball was it for you?
I think 8th or 9th grade. I played baseball, soccer, and basketball growing up, like organized. And I'll finish the story after this bowl right here. Oh, swing and a miss. In 8th grade, my soccer team went 0-18.
Wow.
We lost one game, 16-0 in soccer. And it was at that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick to basketball. It became pretty obvious.
You couldn't have been that bad.
Oh, we were horrible. Also, I was on the B2 team, so it was like an A team, which is like the best kids. It was like B1, B2, B3, because they didn't want the kids to feel bad if you were on like the D team.
So they just numbered the
So I was on
Bs.
the B2 team, which is essentially the C team. You know, the writing was on the wall.
Well, clearly you made the right choice. Basketball working out for you. Similar to you know, working on dribbling skills in your parents' basement. A lot of kids who play cricket, they actually put a ball in a sock and they hang it off the ceiling in the basement. They just keep batting away at it.
Yep, having the right mix of in-game competition and skill-specific drills is so important. Can't be all or one or the other. You got to do both. And that comes with proper coaching. You know, you talk about growing the game. Part of growing the game is making sure there's a network of coaches coaching all these kids that love the game, cricket, the right way to do things. Perfect practice. Good skills, good habits.
Discipline.
Yep, discipline. Repetition, repetition, repetition.
And cricket, actually, coaching-wise, has gone through a big change over the years. It used to be very technique-heavy, this is the way and the only way to do it. And now we've really started to revolutionize the way cricket's coached. And we're starting to realize that there's no one set way of doing things. The T20 cricket is partly the reason why it's really pushed that momentum. Well, that's pulled, and it's going to be in a gap. That's a maximum.
There's a sixer. trying to get some momentum going. They're going to need a lot more of those if they're going to try to win this match, but you got to start somewhere.
A bit short from Karan Casey and set up nicely for Shoaib Khan as he pulls it away for 6 runs. End of the third, Oman 17 for 2. Karan Casey, after bowling 5 decent deliveries, going for 6 runs at the end of the over. Tough on a bowler, isn't it, when you've been so consistent for almost the whole over until that last ball ends up messing up your economy rate.
I mean, luckily they scored so many runs. You know, you can afford that in this match at least. What you don't want is Oman to start stringing some together and getting momentum and confidence, which is exactly what Nepal did in those last few overs. Back on track.
Pegging away with wickets at the right time makes a big difference. Exactly what we saw Canada do yesterday against Nepal. It was a small total that Nepal was chasing, 124 runs. Should have been a cakewalk. But unfortunately, between decent bowling and some poor shot selection, they just couldn't quite cross that line yesterday.
I'd say better than decent bowling. And granted, I'm no expert on it, but every single bowler for Canada seemed to step up in big moments.
Well, using his feet down the track. And the accuracy continues from the fielding. Nepal's so good in the field. They're so quick.
That great positioning too.
नेपालले दामी खेल्दैछ आज नेपालले दामी खेल्दैछ ब्याटिङ राम्रो गरे आज आज चाहिँ पुरै पोजिटिभ लिएर खेल्यो ब्याटिङ
Well, the keeper's decided to come up to the stumps. He's just asked for his helmet. Oh, and that ball, how has it missed the top of those stumps?
So close.
Good strategy this. They saw some use of the feet down the track and they've decided we're going to bring the keeper up to try and...
Take a look at that. Ooh, hit him in the leg.
Just try and keep...
How bad does that hurt? You play cricket at a high level.
Yeah, if it misses those thigh pads, it does hurt.
Yeah.
It's a good shiner, actually. Sensitive parts, your thighs, you know?
Yep. Nice little Charlie horse.
And the women don't really have to worry too much about the straighter ones.
Yep.
I've seen guys go down pretty quick when it's in the crown jewel area. Just a bunch of weaklings.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Just thinking about that is making me cringe.
It does look pretty painful. I'm not really sure what the feeling's like, but all I've got to say is toughen up, boys.
Walk it off.
Walk it off. Slower ball. Good deceiving ball here from Dekal.
That was a change-up.
Took the pace right off. Just a bit down leg. I want to try and get it a little bit straighter.
Now, when he pitches it, does the person behind the wicket know what's coming? Do they have a signal?
Sometimes. I think with spinners, you're more likely to get one. Typically, the keepers watch the ball right out of the hands. I mean, they're in the action every single delivery of the innings. Which is why when you're keeping in a team setting that's new, it's very tricky. Good quiet over here from Dekal, just one coming off of it. 4 overs gone, 18 for 2.
KD is supporting cricket in because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Outside! KD, ready for you.
Slow start here for Oman. Just 18 runs coming off the first 4 overs of this power play. They've really not been able to take advantage of the 2 fielders in the deep. Everyone's inside the circle, but the bowling has been top-notch here. Different Nepal showing up to the T20 series as we see Dipender Singh Airy coming into the attack. So effective with the ball yesterday against Canada.
We'll get one more match with Nepal and Canada, correct?
That's right.
Looking forward to that one.
Oh, he's bowled in.
Got him.
Fast ball ball out.
Great.
Dipender Singh Airy.
Nepal on fire.
Such an important part of this Nepali side. He brings in bat, ball, and field. Very important member of the squad.
There you see.
Taking the top of leg stump. Sharp turn into the batter, and he had no chance on that one.
Yeah, that angle when the ball hit the ground. I mean, no human being has reflexes that fast.
Ayan Khan gone for 2 off 8. And Nepal have just been all over this game from ball 1 today. Oman 18 for 3 after 4.1 overs. Big moments this, Matt.
Domination from my team right now. Abu Dhai's team.
I know the Nepalese fans are loving you. They're loving you. Just you saying that is a big deal. Well, they really need this win, especially after all the flooding that's happening back home. They just need some positivity, don't they? Something to look forward to, something to celebrate.
Yeah, it's amazing how sport can have that effect on the people.
A bit slower this time. Back of the length as Zishan Maksud comes out to the middle. All kinds of troubles here for Oman.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the required run rate. My goodness.
Well over 10 now, isn't it? It doesn't get any easier as the dot balls continue to pile on. And Oman are going to be very careful here because they've lost 3 wickets. They do need runs. They desperately need runs, but they still want to try and keep that strike rotation happening. At the moment, they're just completely bogged down. It's dot after dot after dot.
Yep. Now you see the speed and the frequency these bowls are coming in.
Going for the sweep twice now, Zishan Maksud, and nowhere close to the ball.
It's like the world's quickest over.
5 overs gone. Oman 18 for 3.
Well, what difference today makes for an breaking 163-day streak. It has been, well, very, very one-sided, really, ever since Gulshan Jah walked to the crease. As we have a shuffle in the commentary box, a bit of fun farewell for the moment to Matt Bonner and Manali Patel. Andrew Leonard here with you again, and I've got Arslan Kadir joining me. Arslan, Oman have issues at the moment, don't they? They really do. They were in impeccable form on home soil during that ACC premiere, but since the change of captain, things haven't gone their way.
Definitely not. I think it's it is a little bit of that home field advantage here, but neither of these teams have home field advantage, do they? They just haven't seemed to be able to put it together under the new captain Akabilias.
But in a similar way to Nepal, it's the bat that they're struggling with. I know at the tail end they got torn apart by a wonderful coach in Giannis, but it just looked like they've no confidence with the bat at all.
No confidence with the bat. And we saw Jatinder Singh come back into the squad for the ODIs, not in this team. There's a lot of class in their batting lineup. You look at likes of Kashya Prajapati, Akabilias himself, the captain, somebody they rely heavily on. The man in the middle now, the ex-captain, Zishan Maksud. There's plenty of skill and plenty of ability. They just have been so short of runs, all of them.
Some aggression from Maksud, that's better. He needed to get going, none off 5, and uses his feet to get some momentum into the stroke, and he will get 4.
Yeah, Nasif Sheikh, when Zishan Maksud came on strike there, he went back. He's been predominantly up to the stumps. He's asking for the helmet to be brought on again. Zishan Maksud, Rajan Dekal, he's not going to overpower you with pace, is he? Just medium pace. And he can't any margin of error straight down the leg side. He's just helped along. 1 bounce 4.
So for Nepal here, what they really want to do is they want to be ruthless. They want to not just take a victory, but you think about the way in which this No Frills T20 Cup will be decided. There is no final, so net run rate could well be important. You certainly don't want to take on a single to Dipender Singh Airi. I'm impressed for you with his first over there. He just looks like the kind of player you'd want in every side in the world, doesn't he?
100%. He's great with the ball. He's great. He's great with the bat. And you specifically talk a lot about his fielding, and it's remarkable. So all 3 facets, especially in this format, how important is it? You have to be. He's always in the game. He's always doing something in the game. I think he'd been disappointed coming in all the way down the order at 8, but he's always involved, isn't he, Lenny?
I was surprised he was left out for the ODIs. I thought that it was a strange decision. I know he hasn't been making runs in ODI cricket. I get that, but I don't think you look at his numbers with regards to his output that he delivers to a team. He's not that kind of player. Even if he's not making runs, look at the way he bowls, look at the way he fields. You still want him in your 11. I'd have him in any 11.
It's a big claim, Lenny, and I'm sure there's not a lot of people that would disagree with you. Matt Bonner earlier, when he was on air with you, was talking about just having somebody that impact and lift the team. Gulshan Jah did it with a bat, but Dipender Singh Airi, because he's just always involved, somehow the ball's always in his hands.
Cutter. Grijan Dakal offers an awful lot in this format, and he's got a good game plan. Left arm seamers continue to be in vogue. That power play has belonged heavily.
Let's go.
So the required run rate, it's spiralling out of control. It's already up above 10 runs required per over. Sandeep Lamachani hasn't even had a bowl yet. And with the left-handers that are right the way through this 11, you would imagine that Dipender Singh Airi will bowl heavily through these 4 overs, keep things very tight. Look at those figures. Wicket maiden to start with, 1 for none. And the cleverness of his bowling, he's obviously short in stature, isn't he, Dipender Singh Airi? But it's the variety of trajectories and angles that he delivers with. So you might think of an off-spinner to a right-hander being a bad matchup, but I think in Airi's case that isn't necessarily true.
Yeah, it reminds you a little bit of Kedar Jadhav, former Indian all-rounder as well. He's not the tallest man in the world. He's no Kalimullah or Matt Bonner or Lumbu Dives. I apologize for using that name. Lumbu Dive, we'll call him from now on forward. But again, just a wise cricketer as well. Just changes his pace, changes angles.
Oh, this is gone for all money. Surely the finger's got to go up. No! Now, you're going to have to tell me what this is missing, because Asif Sheikh can't believe it, and nor can Dipender Singh Airi.
If anything, Lenny, this has slowed down the over, because he blazes through his over.
बिस्कुट थे
Let's
दा
have a
बिस्कुट
look. You and I both gave it out. We had our fingers up.
बिस्कुट थे दा दिएन
They're not happy. They thought they had the former Omani captain.
दामी
Let's
थियो
have a look, Lenny. What do you think?
Well, it's not going over the top. is it, Arsenal? That's going to go on and cannon into
leg stump
at
leg stump.
worst. And I think the umpiring's been really good this whole series. But I'm not too sure whether that is the correct decision.
I would love to disagree with you, Lenny. You know me, I'd love to disagree with you, but on that occasion, I just simply cannot. It actually hit the back pad and then onto the front pad.
Daami.
The funny thing is, for Nepal, it might not be the worst result because Irie is all over Zishan Maksud here. We'll get one more look. Just a little bit closer. I wonder, has the
लाइभ राम्रो आउँदैछ कि छैन साथीहरू?
Right, I think it's come off both pads, isn't it? Or some kind of pads. There's no bad involved there for me. You just saw from the appeal, it was one of those ones where it was almost the formality of the appeal. They're just waiting for the finger to go up. But Irie has been, well, maybe robbed of a second wicket of the day.
Yeah, certainly. The celeb appeal, is that as we call it, isn't it? It's absolutely plumbing. You got to say, I think you're right. It is what threw him off. That back foot. It hit the back pad and then on
Tenzin, are you watching?
almost lodged between the two.
Daami.
It was too good to be true. End of the 7th over, just 2 runs from it, but not the second wicket that Tapender Singh Irie wanted. Well, Nepal have been outstanding today. Bat to ball, everything they've done. Fielded nicely too. Oman look like a side that are ring rusty in this format. They look short of confidence. We spoke at length, I know you're watching a lot of the ODIs, Arsene, about their aging team and where do they go to from here. Do you think that Dooley Bendis, who's got Pabudi Dasanayake, the former Canada head coach, in his coaching setup for this tour, do you think that maybe they have to change things quite drastically going forward? Do they have to maybe start to look at 4 or 5 new faces? We're going to see Kushal Bertel with the ball for the first time.
There's got to be something. They've got to do something here. And most North American sports, the first person to go is typically the coach. Dilip Mendes, he's done a brilliant job with Oman cricket, nothing taken away from him. And I'm not calling for his head here, Lenny.
Slug sweep, man out there. And who else would it be but Tapender Singh Irie? He's never dropping that. And the Nepal fans who've travelled in good numbers up here to King City again, they are loving every second of today. It's
4 down, 4 down.
We've got to check his pockets, Lenny. There's got to be a magnet somewhere in there because the ball just seems to always find him. And look at those fans. They're happy. They're trying to find some shade, but they'll be a little bit cooler now with this wicket. Have a look at this.
Well, Bertel's a different kind of leg spinner. He's sort of a bit slower through the air, and you can see what Maksud's trying to do, but, well, Tapender Singh Irie is just too good for that. Zishan Maksud, he's the latest to depart for 6, and the score, Oman in a sorry state. They are 28 for 4.
We're just waiting for the graphics to catch up here, and that'll catch up in just a moment. Yeah, Kushal Bertel. Surprised it wasn't Sandeep Ramchana, you would say, coming to the attack before him. Roy Patil has gone to Kushal Bertel, and he's rewarded him. Big wicket of Zishan Maksud. And Lenny, we're talking about where does Omani cricket go from here? Where does Oman cricket go in this game? Who's it going to be? Does he have anybody left?
Well, it's not just this game, but it's this series now, because all of a sudden, it looked horribly ring rusty and shy of confidence with the bat. Canada are on an absolute hot streak. All of a sudden, right now, we're maybe looking at the series going, you can't find a way back into it for Oman. And that return fixture now between Nepal and Canada, that will be, I think, in 3 days' time from now, well, that is lining up to be a cracker. And it could well decide the trophy. Big surprise for me, Bertel not bowling a couple of days ago. I thought he was brilliant in the T20 World Cup. Another one of these all-round options that they have. I think what Nepal have recognised from yesterday, leaving Sampal Kami out, I'm not sure we're going to see Gulshan Jah bowl today. I think they've recognised that the pitch is helping the spinners as it's, we're getting later into the series. The pitches are starting to get quite a lot of traffic on top of them. With all the good spin options they have, they should be bowling more spin, shouldn't they?
They definitely did. Roy Patil, he's not short of options, is he? There's plenty of all-rounders in this camp. Especially Mace and Gulshan Jah, just the day he had. You want to keep him going. You want to keep him involved in this game because he can't do nothing wrong at this point between him and Tapender Singh Irie. But how happy will the Nepali camp be? Monty Desai, the team's starting to put it together. This game is an indication. They wouldn't have been happy yesterday. Going home back in the team bus, they wouldn't have been happy. And a game that they should have won, and they handed it back to Canada. Here and now, this is a performance where they're sort of putting it all together.
There's a great pragmatism from Monty Desai, that there really is, and it's not easy when you're in Nepal, because they have a fanaticism and a fan support that no other associate does. That's a drag down, but there is a man out there who's nearly going to get there. Great effort from Kushal Mala. He got the dive in, stuck the body on the line, nearly saved 4, but he will concede a first boundary. That goes to Shoaib Khan.
You get that anywhere near the middle of the bat, Lenny, but it's good enough to get for 4, and a brilliant effort. Drag down. It had to go. Try to go over the top. Just didn't get anywhere near it. Kushal Mala, what a brilliant effort that is.
Oh, what a beautiful leg break to finish the over. Was this an edge? I think Kushal Patel thinks as though it was, but it's given as buys. The perfect leg break. You can't do much about that. It'll be back-to-back boundaries, albeit one of them extras, to close out the 8th. The score moves to 37 for 4.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, the signal that we saw was that this was given as buys. It was given as buys by the umpire, but we just wonder whether this was a drop chance or not. Going to have to get that checked with the official scorers, but we both saw Arnold Medella indicate buys.
Yeah, we certainly did. But the reaction from Kushal Patel told us that it might have been an edge. Very hard to tell from that angle that we just saw, that run replay that we just saw.
We're a long way away, but I heard 2 noises.
Yeah, it looked to be it.
Yeah.
It just, the look and feel of that, the reaction from Asif Sheikh, Kushal Patel, it looked to be the edge, sorry.
Well, things aren't necessarily going to get any easier for Oman as Sandeep Lamachani comes into the attack. I'll tell you one thing that we all know about Sandeep Lamachani is that he loves taking wickets. He'll be looking for them. Get one more look here on the zoomer.
Yeah, let's have a look. We'll have a close look. Yeah, I think there was an edge there. I think there certainly was. So, gave it 4 runs. Did give it buys. Lenny, does that change? Did we miss the change?
Exactly. We missed that the umpire is allowed to change his decision. And what he's done is he's folded his arms across his chest to reverse his decision, not give it as buys, but give it as runs. So it is a life for Shoaib Khan, dropped on 20 by Asif Sheikh. And certainly I think Lamachani is going to be licking his lips here, isn't he? He's going to be thinking, oh, how many can I get? Can I get 2, 3 or 4?
Well, he's not going to want to be outdone by Kushal Patel, is he? I mean, it's Sandeep Lamachani, the senior leg spinner in the squad. I saw Sandeep spend a lot of time with the bat pre-game, Lenny. I think he fancied a hit today. It wasn't to be, thanks to Gulshan Jha and Dipinder Singh Ari.
He really enjoys his batting. I think he very much fancies himself as a lower order hitter. And what I would love to see him do is what he's just done there, which is to be completely patient and to bowl maybe 20 leg breaks out on that exact line. Occasional googly. Don't go hunting. But he's gone hunting, and oh my, it's a drop. We've spent the whole day talking him up. He got there too quickly, didn't he, Dipinder Singh Ari? It comes in and out. Should have been a first wicket for Lamachani. And you can stick that one into the memory bank. You won't see it too often.
What's happened there, Lenny?
Catch drop भयो फेरि
Put down what for him is an absolute sitter. But that pace along the ground, he just got there too quickly. Not something you'll see too often, that's for sure.
But again, I'm not sure the line is right. You know, okay, he could have ended up with a wicket, but it was just a drag down googly. And he sprinted in so quickly, he's got there too quickly. Should have swallowed it up, but of all people, Dipinder Singh Ari has grasped a pretty easy chance. That's where you want him to bowl. 4th, 5th stump line, drifting in leg break, turning away. Unplayable from Lamachani, quite brilliant. 9 have been bowled, 40 for 4.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Hassan! TD, ready for you.
137 more required. It's a long, long way home for Oman from here. The challenge is not going to be an easy one against what I believe is going to be a huge amount of spin they will have to face. Maybe even if we see more left-handers at the crease, might even see Rohit Powell give himself a ball with his off breaks. We've got the option of Kushal Malla too. The ball is turning. Oman need more than 2 runs per ball. And Nepal just have to hold their nerve here. They should close this out.
Yeah, certainly. And Oman just don't seem to have any answers at this point. Kushal Patel and Sandeep Lamachane causing all kinds of problems for them.
The difficult thing here for Khalid Kale and Shoaib Khan is they may be facing 2 leg spinners, but they're so different. Lamachani bowls flat, really drifting leg breaks that spin sharply away from the surface. And then Patel, they're part-time leg breaks, but they're very handy part-time leg breaks. He can turn it significantly, but it's much slower. And it's probably an 8 to 10 mile an hour difference through the air. As a consequence, difficult to get your timing right. That's a good stroke. Inside out over extra, bit too full. Finds the gap and gets 4.
And the important man there now, Shoaib Khan for Oman. Just again, that pace just allowed him to get that one over the top. Kind of come, but did a really good job, Shoaib Khan, on that occasion to wait for it. Just had to beat that one man, that cover. And they need to find something here, Oman.
This time a little flatter and great work from Asif Sheikh. Gets across to save the single. Yeah, I think that Shoaib Khan is someone that they've identified as being one that they can bat up the order who might be able to score a little more quickly. His career numbers in T20 cricket aren't great, just 150 in 24 innings and less than 300 runs, averaging 16 at a strike rate of 105. That wouldn't inspire you, but it also gives you an indication of the position that Oman are in. They're hunting for answers to questions that they're being asked more and more regularly.
You'd have to say these 2 squads completely on the opposite ends. Nepal, a lot of quality young cricketers coming through the ranks. Yes, they haven't won a game in a long time, but you can just see.
Takes on long on, gets a good piece of it. I think he's going to get 6. It's very short down there. They've got the right man in place at long on. Their tallest fielder is Gulshan Jha, but even he can't cut that off. It means we'll get to the halfway stage and to the drinks break with a big maximum and a good over. Man.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community. We hire local and we serve local. Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Hassan! TD, ready for you.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
Chips in a burger. Makes so much sense. My question is, do you have to be a teenager to eat that? 'Cause it's called the teen burger.
I think you could.
I want one.
I think you could still fly for a teenager.
Oh, well, thank you. Someone with a really bad glasses prescription, maybe. You don't want to eat one of those on your drinks break, though. Might make the last 10 overs difficult.
A bit groggy. You think?
Yeah. Upset tummy.
Maybe stick to Gatorade.
Yes.
Well, it's a sorry state of affairs for Oman. both openers back in the pavilion very early. Shoaib Khan, he's handy out there with 30, and a decent partnership between him and Khalid Kale brought in today for the T20s. 24 runs off of 17 deliveries, and a much needed partnership this from Oman. And we don't see Dipender Singh Airy put down a lot of catches. That was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it, for him?
It was,
He's
yeah.
absolute lightning in the field.
Yeah, I mean, even against Canada, we've seen very few mistakes from the team from Nepal. But, you know, no one's perfect. Next play. You gotta have that next play mentality. Flush it. Don't let your past affect your future.
Well, a bit of flight, and it's going to be Sandeep Lamichhane coming in for his second over. You know, it's a difficult one. When you put down a catch, it does play in your mind. It's so hard to put that behind you because you might have just dropped the game. You just never know.
That's true, especially in this format. But
Getting some turn out there, Sandeep Lamichhane.
I think Nepal's still looking good, though. I think they're still looking good, even with the drop.
Just the dominance with the bat today, isn't it, from Nepal? Put on a ton of runs in the first innings. How did you deal with the mental aspect of the game when you play basketball? I mean, at the NBA, highest level you can get.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. I think it was harder for someone with my position on the team, being a role player. You come in, you play 20 minutes. You might get 4 to 6 shot attempts the whole game.
Oh, look at that drop catch again. Went straight to Dipender Singh. It's not often that he drops him. Just misjudged it a little bit. In and out of the hands.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure to come in. You have a few shots and you're judged harshly on whether you can make them or not. And if you have a game where, you know, I just tell myself, look, I have a game, I go 0 for 4. I might go 4 for 4 in the next game. You know, you just got to have faith in your preparation. And that over time, it'll balance out.
Well, flighted and given the treatment straight down the ground. Shoaib Khan smashes this one for a maximum.
Nice sixer right there. He's been their best batter this match for sure. See if he can get hot. It's going to take a tremendous hot streak to get them back in this offensively.
Well, it's a big shout. Big shout from Sandeep Lamichhane. We'll have to take a look at that one again. Umpire says not out. And it's been given leg byes. Rohan Shah, the umpire, being put under a lot of pressure today. Just rushing through his over here, though. End of the 11th.
Yeah, take a look at this replay. See how close it was.
That was a googly, and it looks like it might have just been going down leg.
Yeah.
Maybe clipping leg, maybe just going down.
It was close.
11 overs gone, 62 for 4. Well, a lot of probing deliveries here from Nepal. Might have missed out just a little bit on that last delivery, Sandeep Lamichhane, but it's Kulshan Jha. Unstoppable with the ball or unstoppable with the bat, and we'll have to see if he's going to be just as good with the ball. Good all-rounder here for Nepal.
Yeah. Player of the match candidate for sure.
And a young one too. Such a young side, this Nepal side. Got so much potential. And we've got age on your side.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Lenny in the Canada versus Nepal match. I think average age of only 23.
That's another one. And it's Gulshuanja. He's done nothing wrong today. Coming into the attack with a ball, a slight edge. And keeper makes no mistake. It's the end of Khalid Kale.
Cue the DJ. Beautiful catch right here. Diving effort. Let's take a look. Scoops it up nicely. You know, plays like that make up for drop balls.
Well, wickets are so important. He's gone for 11 off 11, Khalid Kale. Not able to push on to get a big one. And the wheels are really starting to come off here for Oman. 62 for 5. That target of
The new
177
A&W
looks
Ruffles Crunch
awfully
Team
far.
Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Team Burger. Let's go.
I think the train's coming off the tracks here, isn't it, for Oman?
It
5
sure
down,
is.
62 runs. They need to get to 177. And we're past the halfway point here.
Yes. I mean, again, if you're Nepal, just keep doing what you're doing. Should cruise into victory at this point. I'm not a huge fan of moral victories, but you know, if you're Oman, you want to finish it strong. At least give yourself some momentum going into the next match. Something you can feel good about yourself.
Good length. And there's just a little bit of kick off the surface for Gulshan Jah. I love that you say you're not a fan of moral victory. Spoken like a true athlete.
No, I mean,
At the top level.
no, we only lost by 8. You know.
So what do you think of all the no scorekeeping for kids these days, giving trophies and medals to everyone?
I think you can guess where I stand on that. Not a fan.
And kids are naturally competitive too, aren't they?
Yes. The real world's competitive. You know, the goal of one of the great things about sport is it teaches you skills mentally to prepare you for the real world, and that's one of them. There's winners and losers.
I think it's human nature as well to bring the competitiveness in. I can tell you,
yeah.
my kids, they don't keep score at soccer, but my kids do. They know how many runs, how many goals have been scored.
When I do basketball clinics, camps, we watch this ball right here, and I introduce competition to the drill, the intensity goes through the roof. And that's how you get better.
That's 100% correct. I mean, we've started to change the way, just going back to the coaching conversation, we've started to make coaching more game sense, more constraint led. And then as soon as you throw in that competitive aspect, they're just working they're tuned in, they're just working that much harder to get to that goal. It makes a big difference.
I agree. And when I say there's winners and losers, as we watch this next ball, I don't mean like if you lost, you're a loser. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is part of life is learning how to lose. Being able to take a loss and turn it into a win. Successful next time.
12 overs gone, 65 for 5.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community. We hire local and we serve local. Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Learning from your mistakes and improving in the next performance is what it's all about. Sandeep Lamichane
Ooh, close.
back into the attack, and he's asking questions again.
Yeah, you gotta fail sometimes in life. You gotta get a bad grade once in a while. You gotta pick yourself back up.
Oh, this might be trouble. This might be
Oh.
trouble. Needed a better throw, and this could have been very tight. Pratik Atavale almost halfway down the track. Well, you could just feel how tense Oman are out there. The runs are not coming. How
Look at
close
that
is this?
Great hustle in the field. Run that ball down.
Well, I think he would have been gone. If that was a flatter throw,
Yep.
he would have been gone. Into the leg side this time, and they will get a single. Not too bothered here by the singles.
Yep. Feels like Khan's been up there forever.
Well, he's holding the fort down, isn't he? Moving on to his 40s now. 40 off 34 deliveries. But now that required run rate is well over 15 runs and over. Not a good position to be in when you're chasing.
Has anyone ever made this big of a comeback before? Has that happened?
I'm going to get back to you right after this short break as we get to the end of the 13th over at 68 for 5.
TV is supporting cricket.
So, not quite T20 cricket, but it was a really exciting game between Afghanistan and Australia in a World Cup match, and Australia were about 7 or 8 down, I think. I don't quite remember what the total was. They still needed about 200 more runs. And that's going to be a wide, well over Pratik Atavale's head. And out comes Maxwell. He can bat. He's an Aussie all-rounder, and this guy smashes it like you've never seen it before. In fact, he brings Australia on the winning side, where they were completely written off in that game. So you never say never in cricket. It just takes one batter to get going.
Is that like a historic game most big cricket fans know?
So John Boy actually did a segment on it.
Wow.
And if you get a chance, you should definitely watch that. The way he's gone about explaining that innings it's great, especially for people in North America who are new to cricket. Perfect analysis of what happened in that game.
He was in the zone.
He was in the zone, and not just in the zone, but he was completely unable to move his legs because he was, he had muscle pulls.
How long was he up there for?
He was up there for, over 100 and something runs.
Wow.
Yeah. I need to pull up the scorecard. Cut away well, up and over the infield. It races away to the boundary for 4 runs. Gulshan Jha flies for some runs here. I'll try and find you that scorecard and that John Boy coverage on that game.
I mean, Nepal's got the luxury now where, like, even 4s, you're like, we'll be all right.
We've got 15 plus runs needed per over. You feel like you've got the upper hand. Use of the feet and nowhere close to the ball. They know they've got to go for it, so Pratik Atavale doing everything he can. The dot ball's not going to help them. Good inclusion in Gulshan Jha today for Nepal. He's been so good in the 50 overs, and no surprise. In fact, at the halfway point when we did speak with him, he kept it pretty simple, didn't he? He said, well, I play in a manner that I understand. I just know my game. I keep it simple and I play the way I play. And sometimes it really does come down to that. You don't have to overthink. Just
You're
trust
right.
yourself and you do what you do best.
Be who you are.
Absolutely.
Don't try to be a different player. Know your strengths and weaknesses and play to them. That's what you're out there for. That's why you're selected on the team. That's what your teammates expect of you as well.
A slower ball. And unlucky to have not gotten a wide there. Shoaib Khan just questioning the umpire as to why that wasn't signaled a wide. He did go down leg, and I don't remember seeing the batter move. Missed out on a run there, Oman.
Look at this replay, see if you can see.
Well, he moved across the stumps a little bit, but it wasn't large enough to not call that a wide personally.
Yeah, I agree. Saw the movement on that ball too.
Slower ball again, and it's been given the treatment. He waited on that beautifully. Again, going over the infield. And they're trying to give it a late fight here, Oman, as Shoaib Khan picks up another boundary.
Heating up a little bit. Take a look here. Going the opposite way. Nicely angled.
A couple of lusty blows like this, and they might be in some contention here, Oman, but that required rate now into 16s. Flicked. And it might just be the single. End of the 14th over, Oman, 79-5. Well, went for a few runs there, Gulshan Jai, in his last over. Well, won't be too concerned of that just yet. 14 overs gone. They've got 5 wickets already of Oman. And that required rate now sitting well over 16 runs and over. It's Sunday Plamichane. No, we're actually going to see a change in the bowling. It's not going to be Sunday Plamichane. It's going to be Kushal Burtel. One for 22. Coming in for his second spell here, Kushal Burtel. Getting good grip off the surface. Just enough to spin it away from the right-hander. I think we got to get you in a cricket game after the game. What do you think? Flighted, tossed up, and this might be another wicket. It is. It is Karan Casey in the deep. He went straight down into the hands of Karan Casey. And this is a big wicket. 6 down, Oman. They're in trouble here as they've lost the set. Shoaib Khan, he goes for 45 off just 38 deliveries.
Yeah, you can see they're running out of time. They've got to get aggressive, go for 6s. Just came up a little short. And again, perfect positioning by Nepal. Barely had to move to catch that one. That's 6 down. Oman feeling the pressure.
Shoaib Khan gone for 48 off 39, and bringing Kushal Burtel back on has brought on yet another wicket. 2 for 22 for him. Oman 79.
कुशल बुर्तेलले 2 विकेट लियो 2 विकेट कुशल बुर्तेलले
As we are now a bit
हाय
into the
कर्बो
end of this batting line.
मेरो युट्युबबाट आज लाइभ म्याच देखाएको साथीहरूको लागि हाम्रो नेपाली क्रिकेट फ्यानहरूको लागि
On the telecast. It's a big one.
नेपाल जित्दैछ आज राम्रो खेल्दैछ राम्रो खेल्दैछ
It's the whoever's on there is okay. See those
आज ब्याटिङ राम्रो गर्यो नेपालीले
accidents or transporting someone in the ICU. Well, off the mark right away, Rafaela picks up a single.
कुशल पुर्तेलको बल अलि स्लो भएर के अरे हिट गर्दाखेरि नि क्लियर गर्न सक्दैन रहेछ ताकत नभएको ब्याट्सम्यानले मोबाइलमा कुन एप्समा लाइभ हेर्नु मिल्छ एप्स छैन यसको एउटा वेबसाइट रहेछ STYX स्पोर्ट भन्ने त्यसमा मात्र लाइभ आउँछ एप्स कुनै छैन त्यो वेबसाइट एउटा छ उनीहरूको गुगलमा सर्च गऱ्यो भने आउनुहुन्छ तर त्यो भित्र जानुपर्छ कि अलिकति फेरि आउट भयो यो चाहिँ खतरा लाग्यो
into making a mistake, but no mistake made.
Oman swinging for the fences, it seems like. Got to get aggressive. Give themselves a chance. That one pays off.
Rafaela, he's picked up a maximum to his name. He's come out all guns blazing. Slapped into the offside, and good running this. Not the cleanest of pickups. It allows for a second run. It's going to be the end of the 15th. 89 for 6.
Started out with Oman on top. Kalimula's first over. That's a long ways away now. And Oman are a long ways away from trying to win this game. But Pratik got the volley. He says, I'm here to play. As he finds the boundary. Change of entry, Sunny Blabachane. Manali?
Yes, and not part of the run getters yet, but he picked up 3 wickets in the game against Canada yesterday. Bowled very well. Cut away. It should just be 2 runs here. They've played a good game here in Nepal, haven't they?
You would have to say a complete game. That first over, Kalimula, he was all over Anil Shah, but they battled it out through that. And since then, it's been Nepal all the way. Sandeep Lamachane here. There's a bit of a counterattack happening from Atavali and Rafaela.
Well, good use of the feet this, and this has gone miles up in the air, but it just doesn't have the distance. It's going to be the 7th wicket for Oman. Pratik Atavali, well, the charge has to come to an end here. And Sandeep Lamichane, now part of the wicket takers with that. Every single bowler has picked up a wicket for Nepal, and it really tells a story for the way they've come out today.
Yeah, you can't fault Atavali for this. It's the right shot, the right idea. Just no execution on it. Got it really high in the air. Plenty of time for Gulshan Jha, who can do nothing wrong today whatsoever, to get nice and settled under it. And Pratik Atavali, he has to go. 15 off 14 for him. And this Oman innings is coming to an end quite quickly here. $95 for 7. 15.3 overs.
Well, great to see Sandeep Lamachani back in to the wickets column. It's what he's born to do, no doubt about that. And the record he has across both white ball formats, he's so prolific with the wickets that he takes. For Nepal, it has just been the perfect day, isn't it? Everything has gone their way. We might see a few late fireworks here from Rafiullah, and maybe even Shakil Ahmed, but the game, it's heading back to Nepal. And across all three disciplines, really, they've earned this win. They've completely outplayed Oman.
Yeah, 100%. They'll take a lot of confidence out of this game. We said it early on in this match, starting with that interview with Roy Patel, they wanted to give Nepal something to celebrate. Their countrymen something to celebrate, and this is a complete performance from them.
Oh, the perfect googly, and a stumping appeal. But the back foot, did it get back in? Asif Sheikh, he doesn't think so. It did look as though, certainly for a moment, he overbalanced Shakil Ahmed. How close was this?
Have a look here. We'll see if we can get the angle on this. Sandeep Lamachani all over Shakil Ahmed here. And you're right, Asif Sheikh, he was certain, wasn't he? He thought that was out, disappointed not to get the call.
Probably take the replay after this ball, in between the overs. Final delivery. Lamachani again, right on the money. What a good spell. And what a good over that was. He's going to finish with 1 for 20. And scored 95 for 7.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Team Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Team Burger. Let's go.
Let's get one more look at this stumping appeal. It did look close at first, didn't it? The way in which Shakil Ahmed overbalanced. Just see if we can bring it to you here. What was your initial thought?
Yeah, it certainly did, and it's going to be impossible to tell from our angle that back foot does slide across. Oh, you can't. Really, really hard to tell from that angle. As we don't actually, most of cricket,
yeah, we don't have the square on angle here. We've just got the slips cameras in place, but certainly that did look close to it. Karen Casey in for his third over. One thing he's done noticeably well is kind of bowled quite a heavy ball into the surface, isn't he? Unlike some of the seamers from Nepal this week, he's kind of probably been the pick of them alongside Goshen Jet.
Yeah, certainly. He's been around for quite a while, hasn't he? I think Canadian fans will remember him for his batting more than his bowling. We won't recall that too much, but he's done a job with the ball here for his side. And it was just standing by him in the field, Lenny. He just had the biggest smile on his face. He was so happy today. That's what we want to see from Nepal. Happy with their cricket. And this today was, as we mentioned, a complete performance. Bring a lot of smiles to the Nepali fans and the players.
Yeah, it's going to mean the world, isn't it, to everyone back home in Nepal and the diaspora around the world. This is going to be another wicket. It's all too easy today for Nepal. They have been inspired, haven't they, in everything they've done. Karen Casey bangs it into the surface. It's a simple catch for Dev Canal. A backward point. Oman are being blown away.
This is all coming to an end quite quickly here, and you can see a little bit of a jump from Kushal Mala, and they're up and around.
They're back.
Look at how much fun they're having.
They are back, baby. Nepal are back. You can see it quite clearly. The buzz is back. And I'll tell you something, Canada, they're going to have to watch out in a few days' time.
Lenny, you're a little extra peppy here. And I can tell there's two of your countries are about to have a great day.
Well, I'll tell you something. In sport, we get used to heartbreak being Irish. We're a small little country. And we lose more games than we win, particularly in cricket. And then obviously my adopted nation, Nepal, very much follow their fortunes and how they go. Ireland about to maybe close it out in Abu Dhabi. South Africa need 18 to win off the final 6. And Nepal are definitely going to close it out here. But it's just the joy that Nepal bring and seeing that come back. It's so important. And what a time to do it. Coming on the back of the most horrendous 48 hours for the nation back in Nepal. The worst floods in 85 years. Historic, once in a lifetime floods that have not just washed away much of the capital city and the districts around it. You think of the beauty of Lalipur, the most stunning suburbs. And You can see plenty of the players wearing black armbands to commemorate those that have been lost. Hundreds of lives lost, and the sad news, Arsalan, is that actually a lot of the kind of more rural areas there isn't word from yet. This is edged away, going to be edged away for 4. No control over where that was going, but Rafaela continues to swing merrily. And the worry is, without having reports of, you know, what is to come in from the more rural regions, and I've seen some of the visuals, really scary stuff. So sport isn't everything in life, it never has been, but very much the national identity rides on the fortunes of the cricket team, and I think there's going to be a lot of joy for people waking up tomorrow morning across Nepal.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it's one of the things, the flooding in Pakistan a couple of years ago, it's happening around India as well. That region has been hit hard with floods over the past couple of years. And sport is one of those things, you start to forget about it, just even for a moment, a glimpse into normality. And that's all you can really ask for. And Nepal here providing for their fans. It's been a brilliant day of cricket for them. And they want to end up on a high.
Well, 3 overs remain after this one. Ahmed Faiz Butt is now there in the middle with Rafaela. And he can swing a lusty blower too as well. What a spectacular diving effort from Kushal Patel. He's so good in the outfield. Couldn't cut this one off though, so it'll be a boundary to round out KC's 3rd. Just a little bit of late joy, no more than that. For Oman, it's 106 for 8. So Nepal are probably going to go top of the table at the end of today's contest. You'd imagine they're going to win by significantly more than the 14-run margin that the host prevailed by yesterday. It's a short and sharp, intense series, isn't it? The Snow Frills T20 Cup. What do you expect tomorrow for Canada versus Oman? Could be very difficult for Oman to bounce back with the 2 T20s in 2 days.
Yeah, certainly. And they'll want to repeat of what Nepal did today, really. Nepal, they had to bounce back after yesterday. Oman's going to have to bounce back tomorrow. But you got to say, that decision to bring Gulshan Jah back in for this game. It's looked like a genius, Monty Desai, hasn't he? With that decision.
It's proved a huge difference, isn't it? Rajan Dakal is going to be pumped down the ground. Now, Rafaela, I'll tell you something, he can swing lusty blows. He's got to 20 off just 7 balls. It might be too little too late to win the game. This is showing why he's come into the team for the T20 format.
Yeah, have a look at this. What a strong man. He's not trying to get in line with that ball whatsoever, just freeing up his arms, Rafaela. Didn't have the best day with the ball, but he can swing a few lusty blows. We heard Matt Bonner talking about moral victories.
65 off 17. Rafaela's just going to keep going. Now, I don't think he's got this one, but it's going to fall, well, remarkably in between 2 fielders. Now, not the greatest piece of running from the 2 batters who got caught watching the ball a touch. They needed to get Rafaela back on strike. Instead, it's only a single, and that's a handy moral victory for Rajan Dakal.
Moral victories. You're part of the region. I'm not going to say, but your neighbors know moral victories quite well.
Well, certainly plenty of talk of that during the Ashes, wasn't there? England versus Australia. Kind of actually got a little bit about what they were talking about. I think they've rejuvenated the Test game in many ways, and I think anything that's good for cricket, I'm always happy to get behind, although Australia didn't quite see it that way. Faiz Butt knows his role. Get Rafaela on strike and see what he can do. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's a case of wholesale changes required for Oman, but you do wonder, if you look at Namibia, if you look at the Netherlands, you look at Scotland, you even look at Canada, the way in which they brought in Andrew Patel and USA with Saiteja Mukamala. You have to promote your youth and give them a chance to get in at some point in the cycle. because in the last cycle, I understood for Oman, every game felt like a must-win. And I know you're somewhat in that position in this cycle again. They got off to a horrible start in Cricket World Cup League 2. Could be in danger of losing their ODI status if they don't get things together quite quickly. But surely in these T20s, it was an opportunity to maybe blood. Why not throw in 2 or 3 of the kids from the under-19s?
Yeah, certainly. I was just going to ask you about this. Is where are the youngsters from Oman? We see them from every other country. We see them for Canada. Mattel, you mentioned Akil Kumar, another one coming up from that setup. Oman, you see the likes of Gulshan Jah, the bowler that we have right now that's bowling into Rafiullah.
I think the reality is that Oman have historically relied an awful lot upon players who are immigrants into the country who either have come for work or for cricket. As Rafiullah gets the long handle out, he's taking a liking, isn't he, to Rijan Dakal. That one nearly goes all the way to Dufferin Street. The second 6 of the over. Some fight being shown by Oman thanks to that man, number 20 on his back, Rafiullah.
Shout from behind the box here, Lenny with Sia. And that ball was definitely out of here. There's no doubt about that one. He's a big, strong man, Rafiullah. And you can see that sign, Seneca College King Campus. That ball was well on its way there, just about to make that left turn on that straight. We might lose Lenny here for a few seconds, folks. He's got to rejoice. Ireland have just beaten South Africa by 10 runs. Lenny, what is going on, my friend? How are you feeling?
Hallelujah. My heart, I tell you, particularly through that World Cup, I was advocating all 9 of those associate sides. Rafiullah goes bang, bang, 6-6. That one might be even bigger. And it's the biggest over of the chase. 20 have come from it. And Rafiullah gets a big punch of the gloves. Oman just hanging about. It's 51 needed off 12. It's very unlikely, but something to work with. 126 for 8.
York दिनुपर्ने York नदिएर सर्ट पिच दिँदो रहेछ सर्ट पिच राम्रो हान्दो रहेछ
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, 2 overs remain. You can never say never in T20 international cricket. Nepal just having a little bit of the gloss taken off their performance thanks to a massive over. 20 have come from it, and mainly thanks to the bat of Rafiullah. 3 sixes, 3 really good strikes, Arson.
Yeah, certainly, and a little bit of inexperience for Dakal there. Just doesn't have the pace to challenge with that length. A lot of those off-cutters, but they're just coming onto the bat. Rafiullah, he's just waiting for him, waiting on that back foot. But Karan Casey, he's a seasoned campaigner. He's going to just look to put this game away in this penultimate over. Put it completely out of reach.
Yeah, just need to be clever. Cardiac kids, that's what Nepal are known as. The heart pressure should be getting too high, or should it? Because it's going to be 6 more. Well, surely not. Surely not. They're coming back from the depths of hell here. Oh, man. And they're just making it interesting. It's another maximum. This time it's the Fayaz Butt.
Lenny, how's your heart feeling? The amount of Nepal games you do, the cardiac kids, just put it out of reach. Not today, says Fayaz Butt, as he pumps this one down the ground. Another 6 runs. 4 6s off the last 7 deliveries, Lenny.
Death bowling has been a concern.
धुलाइ हुँदैछ धुलाइ फेरि
Big shout out to Jeremy up there. Thank you, sir. Working hard up there. He's a happy South African rugby fan. Hard luck in the cricket, mate. You can cry your tears out there. Yeah, this one's hacked into the leg side. Going to be 4 more. I'm not sure about this field. You've got to have deep mid-wicket out. And instead it's back-to-back boundaries. Nepal, you just need to get it back together. It's 41 to win off 10 now.
It's just length, isn't it? Just not the right length to be bowling at this stage, Karan Casey. He's got to get it right. He's got to get it right. And you see the change right there. Going to come around the wicket.
Some old habits, some difficulties at the death are coming back here to haunt Nepal. It might not be fatal yet, but Oman are somehow still in this contest. Still very unlikely. 41 to win off 10. It does get the block hole this time. It'll be 40 off 9, and you'd think that Rafiola is probably going to need 3 boundaries from these 3 deliveries. Can Karen KC, can he hold his nerve, the Valentine's Day boy?
Improbable, but not impossible, is it, Lenny? Rafiola is 33 off 11 deliveries.
Just cannot get my head around why Dipender Singh Ari has only bowled 2 overs. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 2, and he's brilliant at the death.
It's just a case of overthinking it with the right-handers. We talked about this a little bit earlier, Lenny. He's not a typical off spinner, so it's not a matchup that you would favor him just bowling the left-handers. He's very, very accurate. Has the ability to just get the ball going around with the arm. Natural variation for him as well. Very tough bowler to get away.
Edged and taken. It's a really good catch. Third is up in the circle. And he's gone diving to his left, just trying to get a sight of who it is. There's a big smile on the face of all people, Sandeep Lamachani. Might not be the very strongest fielder in this Nepal 11, but a little bit like Kalim Sana yesterday, diving to his left. Lamachani takes the catch. That should ice this game.
Rafiola, he looked threatening. He was out there for quite a while, looked to take this game, but just Q ended it. And it's a brilliant catch. There was enough pace on that delivery. Flew off the bat, but Sandeep just plucks us out of thin air. Rafiola, look at the disappointment. He throws his head back. Just doesn't believe it, does he, Lenny?
Well, a spectacular catch to end the innings of Rafiola. Credit to him. He's played really, really well, hasn't he? But he's got to go for 33. And now Nepal are on the brink. It's 137 for 9.
Last man in, Kalimullah. Got 8 deliveries, Lenny. 8 deliveries to pull off the improbable. Still 41 runs to go.
Well, it wouldn't be Nepal if there wasn't a twist or a turn or a wobble, or maybe just a raising of the pulse rate, a raising of the hearts across the nation. But they're one good ball away now. And it might be fitting if Karen KC would be the one that would do it. Yeah, look, I have to agree with you, Arslan, that the modern myth of matchups, for me, your best bowler is still your best bowler, whether or not the matchup is in theory against him. And Dipender Singh Ari, in this format, he should be bowling 4 overs every single game.
Yeah, we didn't expect to see Gulshan Jha with the ball, and I think that's the overs of Dipender Singh Ari that went to Gulshan Jha, the 2 overs that he's bowled. Sometimes we tend to overthink it sometimes. Let's keep it simple. He's one of our better bowlers.
Maybe Rohit Paud's punishing him. He says, you cannot drop a catch to Dipender Singh Ari. I'm going to send you out. You're going to be done for eternity. That'll be a wide too short. I'm outcasting you. You drop a catch on me, Dippy, you're gone.
They're having fun out there, aren't they, Nepal? And it's those things that when you win a game, you can laugh at them in the end. For somebody like Fayaz Butt and Khalid Kale, they'll rue their chances early in this game. They can't laugh at them.
Well, you have enough bad days in cricket to celebrate the good ones, and they're playing with wonderful joy and freedom today. They've been too good for Oman. Whatever Kalimullah does, or Ahmed Faiz, but it's not going to matter from here. May well be Dipender Singh Ari to bowl the 20th and final over. And we might just hear a rendition of Nepali Ho before long. 19 bowled. It's 139 for 9.
Eva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
So just the final over to put into the books. Nepal to end 163 days. West Indies a couple of times in a cracking series in May on home soil, thanks to Rohit Paudl. But in terms of official T20Is or ODIs, it's been a long, long time coming. And I think every single one of these Nepali travelling squad, they're going to breathe a heavy sigh of relief this evening. They'll have a day off tomorrow. I would expect Monty decide to say we're going to take a day of rest, we will not train. And they brought this No Frills T20 Cup right back into the balance. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest plays out. As Gulshan Jha will bowl the final over. And there's going to be a chance, and that's going to be that. Oh, what a way to win it. Anilsa rounds things up in the most imperious of fashions.
दामी क्याच पक्रियो नेपाल जित्यो फाइनली बधाई छ बधाई नेपाल win the match
40 with the bat, 2 wickets with the ball, and Nepal, they've waited 163 days to taste victory on the international scene. They've done it by 37 runs.
What a brilliant catch there by Anil Shah, but who else is it going to be, Lenny, to cap this innings off? But Gulshan Jah just digging this one to the surface. Kalimullah just getting the toe end of the bat. And have a look at this. Full stretch. Keeping full control. And Nepal, you can celebrate. You have your win.
Well, Nepali ho, it is that time. They have finally got back into winning form. You won't believe it. There was a few memes going around on social media. This new jersey of theirs, since they've added the gold touch to it, they actually haven't had a win. And I think a few people will be breathing a heavy, heavy sigh of relief, because ultimately it's not to do with the jersey that you're wearing, it's to do with the way in which you're performing. And Nepal haven't quite been at their best in recent times. I thought they were wonderful at the World Cup, despite those narrow defeats to Netherlands, South Africa and Bangladesh. And now back against some of the best associates, having gone down to several defeats in the ODIs and an absolutely heartbreaking defeat yesterday. They found a way to turn it all around and take a 37-run victory. They've been very good value for the victory, and you've got to say, I think they've deserved this. You might make an argument that they'll be confident of turning Canada over if they can do that. Who knows? Maybe they might even be able to pick up some silverware to round out this tour of Canada.
Well, they've certainly got the momentum on their side now. They've put together a complete performance, you would have to say. They were brilliant with bat. They were brilliant with ball. And besides the one unlikely drop catch from Dipinder Singh Airi, they were absolutely brilliant in the field as well. Nepal putting it all together in the right time in this T20I series. Have a look. A lot of positives for Nepal, for Oman. More questions than answers today. Not a lot has gone right for Oman today, and you would have to say, if you're Dilip Mendes, Puvidu Dasanaika, you've got to go searching for some answers before tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you something. Look at the emotion here. Raw emotion. Jagat Tamata brought into this squad. He'll have coached almost every one of these boys, and there is raw emotion. Sandeep Lamachani yesterday, he took to social media to talk about his emotions, and I don't think there's a single one of these boys that hasn't been affected by what has happened back in Nepal, but it is ultimately only sport. And look at these beautiful scenes. They're now going on their customary lap of honour. We're going to bring you some shots of this. Nepali Ho is ringing out around the stadium. I'm just going to read you Sandeep Lamachani's thoughts from yesterday. Posted this on social media last night. Dear Nepali brothers and sisters, in this tragic moment brought to us by the recent floods, my heart is with you. This devastation and irreparable loss is extremely painful for all of us, but our courage and unity will help us.
ल बधाई छ अनि गुड नाइट सबैजनालाई
Holding each other's hands and up and moving forward. Even though our national team is now in Canada, our concern and our love is
नेपाल
always there
जित्यो
for the people of Nepal. And I wish that all the flood victims may find peace and safety.
धेरै दिनपछि नेपालले जितेको हेर्न पायो आज एकदम क्लिनिकल पर्फर्मेन्स दियो ब्याट बल फिल्डिङ ल सबैजनालाई गुड नाइट
Touching moments with what is definitely a special day for Nepali cricket. The long wait has been ended. We'll guide you through those cards.